You know, you never heard of a guy by the name of Joe Penfold. He was my dad. I'm really proud of him. If you're an outdoor person, you really don't know the impact, positive impact, he's had on your life. Joe Penfold started working, my dad started working for the Isaac Walton League in the 1940s. And he was a conservation director in the western states. It gave him the opportunity to meet a lot of the really key people in the conservation and environmental movement at that time. And there wasn't that many in those days. And he had the ability to build these trusting relationships. I call it being an honest broker. People trusted what he had to say. And he didn't yak a lot. He didn't talk a lot. But when he said something, people paid attention. And I think it was part of his effectiveness. I had a really neat experience about 1961. The Outdoor Recreation Resource Review Commission was operating then, and Dad invited me to go to the Boundary Waters area up in Minnesota. And so I got to go along on this trip. And so we're sitting around the campfire one night with the Forest Service guys, and he brought up the question around the campfire, what would you guys think if there was a grant program where the Forest Service and the public land management agencies would have the funds to acquire land and build recreation facilities? And of course, we all reacted really well. He was talking about his idea for the Land and Water Conservation Fund. What was going to fund this program was receipts from offshore oil and gas, and that made the idea very popular. We're going to have offshore oil and gas development, but the funds are going to go into outdoor recreation. And that's what's proposed now. The Great American Outdoor Program that's being proposed in Congress right now is a huge step forward. It would permanently fund the Land and Water Conservation Fund. You can go into any little community in Montana, and if it's got a ball field or swimming pool, or some outdoor recreation trail or something like that, you can bet that that community's benefited from the Land and Water Conservation Fund. Joe Penfold kicked off the Land and Water Conservation Fund 55 years ago, he and his colleagues. This has been a huge legacy for us here in Montana and across the country. We have another opportunity now to continue that legacy. There's a bill in Congress called the Great American Outdoors Act. We need to support this. This is going to be part of our legacy.